Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and on our games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working on Blue Archive, the tabletop role-playing game experience, the unofficial role-playing game experience. But, goodness, my bones. A little bit later than I had planned today. Originally the idea was to start streaming about like 4, but then I got caught up talking to people and that failed dramatically. Fun fact though, well, fun fact, I actually got mentioned in a thread. Yes, someone actually mentioned me in a thread, you know, Notepad and on, go me. Yeah, game dev autist to finish his Cunny Archive RPG. Yes, hello. I see we have someone who is also morally correct. Yes, hello. Kalu Kale, how are we doing today? So, did a little bit. We've got a little bit there. I did the scene system, as you can kind of see here. This is just kind of like a very basic explanation of like how this is going to be working. Kind of a very quick breakdown. I'm working on the drama scenes section right now, actually. You just kind of see this up here. However, if I go all the way up, I wrote lore. I wrote a lot of lore. There was a lot of lore to write, so I just kind of did it. There, as you can kind of see here, I do the entire bit of every single school, who's currently in charge, who's the very basic people in power. I need to put in a side note right here about the nature of certain schools and kind of like adventures and stuff like that. The two odd ones, we have SRT Special Academy and the GSC Sanctum. I did decide to make GSC Sanctum like an actual school, but I gave myself a little bit of wiggle room for lore reasons, and that wiggle room is almost entirely based on a lot of people are leaving GSC Sanctum because guess what? There was a massive political fucking fallout issue, so everyone is leaving. And because everybody is leaving currently GSC Sanctum, the current state of affairs is a little bit complicated. And so, by the time the actual game takes place, GSC Sanctum may be completely gone, or it could be just replaced by the actual current student council. Because it's a little bit confusing how that works, and the answer of how it works is it fucking does. That is the exact actual answer to how a vast majority of Blue Archive actually functions. It just works, haha lamau. You may say, oh, Blue Archive is such a deep and interesting set of lore and ideas, and those people are lying to you. Those people are drastically lying to you. Because there's a lot, there is a lot of lore, there's just sometimes is very bad at giving you it. But today we're going to be working on, the main goal today is to get the drama section done and get combat set up. I don't think we'll finish combat today. Schrodinger's lore. Yeah, pretty much. It exists, but we don't talk about it. Will it actually be written? Who knows? Or will it be porn? Again, you could consider a vast majority of this game to be just writing porn at this point. Like, honest to God, like, there are some details which get a little bit complicated to even, like, word because of, here, I can actually go over some of the weird ones that I had to actually take note of and, like, try to find. Where are you? Right here. Technically, the Tea Party of Trinity is divided into 3 major schools, and they're formed of 3 major factions. However, there's something very, very amusing about this, and you want to know what that is? The funny part is that those 3 major factions are not named. Well, they are named, they have no information about any of them. They just exist. And because they exist, it's like, oh, whoopsie doopsie, technically I should change the name here, but I don't know what to change it, because I literally just had like as you see, why do I have so, oh, I never changed that, did I? Let's do Siberian, Da 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 da. Da 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 da. We'll add some names because I'm bad enough. Ulieva. There we go. Actually, what would be the what was chairman? There we go. There we go. Generally speaking, all of them are a little bit weird. Like, there's very little information about how Red Winter works. Very little information about the actual structures of majority of the councils or anything like that. A lot of it just kind of works. Kidana. Do we want to do Kidana? Kidana. Yeah. A vast majority of them do kind of just, people do little funny, I have no idea about even like how many students are here per school. I actually had to sit down with Scribble and actually like think about how many people there would be per school. Like, all of this shit is complete bullshit. I got fucking nothing. It's complete fucking bullshit. All of this, complete bullshit. I'm winging it. All of this is just political bullshit going on. This is just me, like, legitimately, they have the Tower Papers. It should be, like, they had their own version of the Panama Papers get leaked. Otherwise known as, like, Culture Offer Secretary Tanaka Aiko was taking multiple bribes from both Hyakio and Xianyang. The assistant of the Human Resources Secretary was in a direct romantic relationship with Kronos School of Journalism student and was actively leaking information. Funds from the Abydos Recovery Project was being siphoned during processing, and a third-party distributor was to blame. Yeah, I have a bunch of these, that are just like, people were taking money from things, and it's just people being terrible at one another. That's literally it. And it's like, what do we know about the GSC? We have legitimately no fucking idea. Because the GSC has no information about it. A very major political figure, a very major just figure in the entire world doesn't have a lot of information. You're like, oh, these characters are going to have a lot of information about them, right? They're fairly important. They're part of like the main governing body of the city. We know that she is in fact a person. That is like the most, like, we definitely know she works at, she's currently the leader of Kavodos, and we don't know much about her. Okay. What does she do? She exists. What does she do? She exists. She's a villain. We know she exists. We know nothing about her. We know nothing about her. We know nothing about her. Like, there are literally signs of like the structure of the government that just have question marks. They just have question marks because it's just so unimportant. In the grand scheme of things, the importance of these characters are so minimal. And as you can kind of even see, like, these are just like generic characters that just kind of exist. Like, she's important because she's like the literal president of the student council. But fun fact, she's irrelevant because she's also, you know, dead. or gone, or disappeared into the fucking ether. What? What? My entire Miro board is gone. Yeah, I didn't do this. What happened to my Miro board? What? Well, that's inconvenient. Oh. Oh, goodness. Well. Delete anything. Yeah, so the entire Miro board is gone. I have no idea what happened to it. Like... it... But what? It was there last night. Oh. That scared the shit out of me, fun fact. I didn't... What the fuck? I guess I never realized you could go out to less than 1%. It's right there. Here's the entire Miro board. Oh. Why can I go that far out? Like, I thought it was like, oh, like, did they change this? I think they had to have changed this. Like, how small you can make it. Okay, alright. Alright. Fucking kind of madly. Sorry, I'm having a mini fucking heart attack. I'm like, oh god, all my notes are gone. Everything is there. It's so fucking over, boys. And then I'm like, wait a second, why is it so small? Yeah, it's like I didn't know you could go this far out. Why can I go to this far? There are this is the entire board. Like right here. Why isn't this big? Oh god. Oh. Fuck bravo, Miro. Miro's done it again. Because I was thinking like, yeah, I knew you could go pretty far out, not that far out. All right, all right. Is it using so little? Like I guess like let me see, like can I like in theory like extend this out to be as big as physically possible? I can, but there's no reason to. If I go this far out, this is 100%. It's so huge. Like like 100% you can see everything. Like oh god, all right, no. Oh Jesus. All right. We're alive. All right. So yeah, there we go. So let's get back to business. Terror ended. So the big idea behind drama scenes. Oh god, stretching. Boomer texting. Take us to the edge of the universe. I don't think you quite understand how much in fucking terror I was. Like, I was just like, it's so Jover, everyone. It's so Jover. Alright. Big... big notes, big games. Yeah, my heart sank. Okay, there we go. All right, no, we're good. We are so fucking back, boys. So the idea behind the drama phase is pretty simple. It's just a thing is happening, and you need to fix it. We're chasing somebody down. We are trying to get to the cake shop first. We're trying to study for class. Things like that, where you can have an active win and a lose state effectively. And we're doing this by the idea of critical tests. In every one of these scenes, you're going to have a critical test. These critical tests are going to be kind of like the big thing that you're trying to succeed at. Hey, you need to catch up to the thief. You need to hit your target dead on. You need to do a thing. This is a critical test. There might be multiple of them. You might need to spot the problem. You might need to catch up to them. You might need to try to deactivate something. There's a lot of things that you could do. If you succeeded over half of the critical tests, you will succeed. You know, you get the momentum for the scene, you get it, you're good. The problem is, if you fail, you don't get the momentum, and something usually disastrous happens. But you can do little tests in the meantime. You know, let's see, however, let's see. Not all tests made during a drama scene are critical. Others may be attempting to assist the student or uncover additional information. In the previous chase scene, you will build out these build context, make the critical and may make the critical tests easier. Make the critical tests easy. Spawning up. So it's kind of the idea of like we're chasing someone down, being like, okay, I want to make a recon test to find out what's her uniform look like. You succeed at your, your roll. Roll, cool, you rolled 25. You clearly know that uniform is Gehenna. And it's like, okay, so we're chasing someone down from Gehenna, so we kind of know what direction they're going to be heading. Cool, that's good information to know. But you may be like, I want to make a streetwise check to see if I know a shortcut in the area. Cool, you rolled a 1. You totally know a fucking shortcut. And, you cut around a few alleys, you're pretty much, like, right on her ass. And you're like, okay, we're going to make the agility check. And it's like, all right, this is the critical test. You rolled an 80 fucking 2. You're going to fail. But, hey, you have the correct thing. You could swap it around. You rolled a 28. Yeah, you totally catch up to her. That's super easy. That's kind of the idea, is like, as long as you succeed at those critical tests, you're good. There might be multiple critical tests, but that's where squatting up happens. I think that the intentional infliction of emotional distress, I think the possible court case, you could shake some money off of them. See, during my inevitable Miro sponsorship, Miro get a hold of me. That will be my, like, moment of humanity. Of, like, Miro scaring the absolute shit out of me. Miro live, man shits pants because Miro zooms out too far. Other PL may choose to squad up with the main student. Actually, I should say the lead student whom who has the attention of the scene. Let's see. The lead student who has the attention of the scene is still the leader of what is is still the leader of what's going on. They will elect to make tests and attempt to suss out information about the target, about the goal. However, other students who have squatted up may assist with their own skills, and divide up the amount of tests that are taking place, as well as propose their own solutions. For example, chasing down the thief. Chasing down the thief would be easier if one of the students climbed up onto a building and began recon and began tracking the target. More hands means more options for actually more options to solve a problem. However, more cooks in the kitchen does not always make a better meal. However, more cooks in the kitchen does not always make a better meal. There will for every squatty that joins, actually for every squad, for every student that squads up. Actually, for every student that joins the scene, Another critical test will be required to succeed. Join the scene. Another critical test will be required to succeed. The options are the options expand, and so does the chance of failure, mitigated by the chance of actually no. For every student that joins, students joining the scene may also be forced to make critical tests which contribute to the overall number, potentially leading to a failure if the squad cannot keep up with the lead student. If a student does not want others to join them, they may oppose them directly. This may be due to them hiding something. Or wanting this to be a personal experience. If the student insists on joining, the two will make an opposed. Let's see. The two will make an opposed. We'll make an opposed subject test. Determined by the archiver. Whoever wins will get their way, joining or preventing the joining of student. Actually, whoever wins will get their way, either joining their comrade in the scene, often secretly, or without their full approval, or being forced out. Yeah. It's kind of one of those things where squatting up is good. Actually, joining your friends and their problems is going to make it's going to be easier for you to do things. The problem is sometimes you don't want your friends to show up. Let's see. Hey Notepad, what sponsor would you like to take but have sus eyes toward accepting all the way through? I will accept any sponsor. Legitimately, any sponsor. I'll take it. I'll take the money. Raid Shadow Legends wants me to do something? Hell yeah. You want me to talk about Blue Archive? Fuck yeah. I'll run the pre-run clips. You will like it. Let's think. We got any fun other sponsors? Hello, shit, I'm late. I was reading Break. Break? I'll do Break. I'll shill for Break. All I'm saying is Break RPG. You send me the game. You send me a PDF of the game. I will review it live on air. And you will have the YouTube funny man guaranteed. And that, that YouTube funny man, I will make the funnies, and I will guaranteed give you 500 views on your game. 500 views you wouldn't have had before. Cloudbreaker Alliance, same thing. Wait, you're supposed to be funny? Shut up, purple robed wizard. They don't know that I'm just sad. Shut up. I am funny. I am funny. I am a funny man. I've got the Kenergy. Barbie movie, 100%. I'll do it. I'll get the Kenergy. Let's see. Let's see what other ones. Gen Con. Yeah, I'll sponsor Gen Con. Go for it. 100%. Coyote and Crow even. I'll sponsor Coyote and Crow. How about that? You need to make the Ken game. He's cute and funny. Finally. I've succeeded where Moot has failed. See, that's what I need to do one day, is just get a graphically commissioned, you know, VTuber model, full on, full rigged and everything, and it's just an anime girl. Would you take a sponsor they made you take back something you said before, like, yeah, we good with thing, but you have to remove the vid where you rip our ass? My thing would be, yeah, okay, I'll remove it. And then I would make another video in which it is very clearly that I had just redacted the entire thing for money. Unironically, that's how I would do it. It would literally be, I've been paid money to remove this video. Here's the cut version where I just redub the dialogue with it being positive. Everything is still the exact same, like visually, but it's just different dialogue. It's not synced up at all. It's just the same thing. Wouldn't that make you a blacklist for people looking for views? Yeah, probably, but it'd be funny. See, I stride into the problem and I make sure that people understand. You should not record audio, just put Microsoft. Just do the audio on my headset mic so everyone knows. Hello, my fellow gamers. Just speak in a completely monotone voice the entire time so people understand that this is just how I sound. Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun, so how are we doing today? Today we are going to be reviewing my favorite game of all time, Coyote and Crow. Coyote and Crow is a very good game that is all about rejecting the harsh realities of colonialism. I believe in it. I think you should buy it right now. I am being paid for this video. See, just do the entire video like that. Think of the money. Think of that cash money I can make doing that. I'll put it next to the thrice in a row if there's a corporate agent holding a gun to your head. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're on about. There's nothing wrong. All it will be is just like Manly with a gun looking concerned in the corner. That's all it's going to be. As I say to Manly. Let's see. Who does not want others to join, they may oppose this directly. Let's. Slice of life scene, slice of life, actually, we'll do slice of life. slice of life, slice of life elements. Elements are mandatory, are important for a student's development. Whether this is interacting with clubmates, interacting with interacting with clubmates, otherwise interacting with clubmates, going out with friends, or shopping for cute clothes. All of these keep the student involved in Kavodos with her friend with friends. Certain drama scenes may turn into certain drama scenes may become a slice of life scenes these are non-threatening and often very simple scenes about the students going about their everyday lives. Slice of life about their everyday lives. These do not have a central driving goal necessarily. These do not have a central driving goal necessarily. Instead the girls are tasked with something mundane. Mundane or simple. The goal being more to do something rather than attempt to beat something. Going to the movies. Going to the movies, but missing the train, and having to sprint across Kavodos. Sprint across Kavodos is a slice of life moment with the squad. Going to new parfait, new pancake, going to a new pancake shop to try the ultra deluxe pancakes, ultra deluxe new strawberry extreme pancakes is slice of life. When designing, if they throw in slice of life scenes, to contrast to assist the one slice of life scenes to assist the students who may have suffered damage in a previous scene, or are looking for something relaxing, looking for something to break the tension, or looking for something to break the tension break the tension of a stressful drama scene. A slice of life may come after the combat. After the combat operation, as well as the squad takes some necessary rest and relaxation to lick their wounds and enjoy the day for a little bit. So Slice of life scenes are quite literally do something. Something is trying to happen rather than you're trying to defeat something, you're trying to get past something, you are trying to do something. Which is a little bit different than a traditional scene, and because the stakes are a little bit less important. That makes sense. You're not trying to beat a rival. You're not trying to get a bonus out of something. You're not trying to find the clues or whatever. There's not like a win state and a lose state necessarily. Slice of life is, I am trying to go to the pancake store, but the pancake shop has a long line. How do I get to the pancake shop faster? Hey, we are trying to... we want to have tea in the park with the whole squad, and we all get together and we have a little fucking tea party in the goddamn garden. So what if we just had a gunfight? We recover all of our stamina a little bit, having a nice tea time, and then things may happen. Things happen during slice scenes, but it's kind of more of a quiet moment than anything. If you do the thing, if we have our tea party successfully, if you get the Ultra Deluxe Strawberry Extreme pancakes, if you go to the movies but you miss the train, so you sprint across the entire thing to try to find a cabbie or do something like that, you're going to get that momentum, but it's a lot less high stakes. Most importantly, it's if you want to do something, you don't need to worry about it. The manly ball can look concerned. He just looks so tired from all the cosplay you have him doing. I don't know what you're talking about. Manly doesn't look tired. I mean, we've got a few Manlys to be fair. I mean, let's see. Let's see some other Manlys we've had. Of course, we've had our favorite Manly. Hello, Horse Manly. How can we forget Horse Manly, everybody? We've got Bob Manly. He looks just mad. How can we forget silly Billy Manly? Let's see. We've got, of course. Oh, I forgot about Musketeer Manly. How can we forget Musketeer Manly? Alien Manly, ready to explore uncharted worlds. Zatsu Manly. We never got to see Demiurge Manly in live action. Yeah, we didn't get to see Demiurge Manly. Technically what should happen, Twitch might have broken something, is when someone selects a manly co-host, no one else can select a manly co-host. That should occur. We've got Black Shirt Manly. Artist Manly. Shaco Manly. Let's see. My personal favorite, truly my magnum fucking opus. My magnum opus. Whale Manly. What the fuck is that? Why? Whale Manly deserves the death penalty. Of course, we also have Cartoon Manly. Cartoon Manly is very cute. We like Cartoon Manly. We've got the real Manly. I don't know about you, but big furry Bara Manly really does sell the experience. Ever loyal familiar Manly. That happy. ever loyal familiar. Let's see. Finally, we have OSR Manly. Actually, OSR Manly OSR Manly may show up for the next video. Tragedea Manly, Stalker Manly. That's an oxymoron. Courier Manly, Vietnam Manly. Devil Manly, Taiga Chan and Manly. The Gorbedo quest of Tiger Balls. I don't even remember why I made this one. Heisen Manly. Say my name. And of course we have we've got Joker Manly. Let's see. How can we forget Buttermer Manly? Oh man, let's say hello to Buttermer Manly. Butter Manly. Oh, Buttermer Manly. He looks like he's in pain. Let's see. I mean, we do have this standard Golden Manly. The Golden Manly. The one true Manly, you could say. Because truly, he is my little Tiger Ball. And then, of course, we've just got the classic Tiger Ball himself. If anything, this is Manly Prime right here. Where the fuck did you use Buttermer Manly? Buttermer Manly was for Buttermer Manly was used primarily for Nautomons. Manly Prime, put him out of his misery, please. Yeah, go to sleep. Let's bring back the classic Manly. Oh yeah, I forgot Bronze Age Manly. Let me back up. Kaiser Gunrunner Manly. Yep, so now we've got Kaiser Manly, have no fear. I try to make Manlys for everything. Currently, the other co-host is just Ogata. She's the one who shows up, Ogata Kanna. She's my cop wife in Blue Archive. I don't know why I like her design as much as I do. I just find her I find her design very appealing. Maybe because I like tired women. Maybe I'm broken. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the secret. I just like tired, broke women. So we can be broken together. That's how it goes. Yeah, that's good. So now we're gonna start with combat ops. Combat ops are a little bit weird. So combat. How do we want to? So inevitably these students will find themselves in a gunfight. These fast-paced duels, gunshot serenades, gunshot operas. let's see. These fast-paced gunshot operas have the students navigate and attempt to subvert their enemy. Attempt to subvert their enemies. Rarely will they have the advantage. Rarely will they have the advantage, but through force of will and the momentum they've gained, they may have a fighting chance. Okay, so how do we want to do this? It is kind of like inevitably you will find yourself in a gunfight. As you see here, we are Kavodos is secretly just America. God bless America. I like my women like my coffee and me sour. I thought you didn't play Blue Archive. I don't. That's the secret. I don't know why. I like Kanna's design. She just looks tired, and I'm like, yeah, I can get behind that. I would share a coffee with over you as we lament. I get this. I would share a beer with you, Kanna. I'd let you violate my civil liberties. Have no fear. So how do we want to break this up? How do we want to do this? So let's just write it out. What do we kind of need? We need I think we need to explain the battlefield, the battle map. I think we need to explain the battle map first. I think that is a very key part of it. And then we're going to be explaining initiative. Actually, from the battle map, we're going to explain initiative and ambush. From there, we can actually, it's going to be, we're going to be able to explain ambush and initiative. The battle map, we're going to be describing position. Because I feel that's going to be very important. Initiative. Actually, let's explain momentum next. So it's going to be battle map, we're going to explain momentum, and then we're going to explain initiative. Then we're going to be explaining character actions. Then then we'll explain character actions. So yeah, actually no, we're going to explain momentum. Then we're going to detail momentum down here. Pretty much it's like, hey, here is momentum, this is how it works. It's like your ability to actually have, it's your gusto on thing. I don't know if I should put like what you can spend momentum on though. Actually explain and pre-battle momentum, so we can determine initiative, and then we can detail ambush. Then we go over character actions, then we detail momentum more. So this would be really specific uses of momentum. And then let me actually Actually, no. We explain momentum first. Let's explain momentum first. What is momentum? Why is it important? Then we explain the battle map, because then we could put mentions of the battle map is about you pushing or defending. If you're trying to defend if you're trying to push into a position, pretty much if you're attacking one another, you want to push into the enemy position. If there's ever a point where you are defending something, you want to defend your position. So it's kind of like attackers want to go to the other side. It's almost like chess rules in that regard. You want to get on their side of the board almost as fast as you can. Because when you're on their side, they have the disadvantage. They're losing momentum. If you're there on your side, you're losing momentum. You know, that's kind of the idea. So we're going to be doing battle map, position, initiative, ambush, character actions. We don't need to detail. Actually, I would say spending momentum. We'll do spending momentum here. Then we will do we'll do breaking and capitulation. So breaking and capitulation is going to be pretty much the alternate defeat conditions. It's the idea of we've banked so much momentum, we're going to spend it to win. That's kind of the idea. We're spending the momentum to win, or after a certain point, you are all going to make effectively a morale check. If you fail the morale check, you're going to run. The battle is over. We've won the day by you running away. Or again, the primary way to win is complete an objective, something like that. But the main one is break them, is to, you defeat everybody on the field. But if they break, that means they're running away. They don't want to fight you anymore. They're bolting. They're saying, fuck this shit, I'm out. What am I missing here? What am I missing here? What am I missing here? I feel like I'm missing something. We explain momentum. Explain the battle map. We explain initiative. What characters are doing. How do we spend momentum? How do we win? What am I missing? What am I missing? Actually, actually, no. We put cover on here. Cavere. Put cover right there. What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something. Actually, I know. There we go. Okay, so let's start from the top. Momentum. Momentum is the representation of both morale and fighting spirit of the students. During the episode's drama scenes, they will be collecting their initial stockpile of momentum to be used in the field. But what is momentum? But what is momentum? What is momentum? Each momentum, anytime momentum is gained, place a token such as a smaller die, poker chip, bead, or any other, or coin in the center of the table to represent the pool, the entire pool of momentum. At any time, members of the strike team may use momentum to empower themselves. Let's see. May use momentum to empower themselves, or use their techniques, to empower themselves, or power through misery. Momentum is gained in a variety of ways. Let's see. Momentum is gained actually. This communal resource is can act as one of the few communal resource acts as a way for the students to turn the tide of the battle in their favor, as well as represent turn the tide of battle in their favor, as well as recover from an onslaught. Recover from an onslaught. If they have no momentum, the squad, the strike team lacks they have no momentum. Momentum is the counterbalance. To the let's see. Momentum counts as a acts as counterbalance to the number of enemy fighters and their own special abilities. There are multiple ways to gain momentum. Gain momentum. There are multiple ways to gain momentum during there are multiple ways to gain momentum during combat. There are multiple ways to gain momentum during combat. So multiple ways to gain momentum during combat. We're going to insert a table. We're just going to do a very simple table. Which we're going to be defeat an enemy is going to be +1. Defeat an enemy let's see. There are multiple ways to gain momentum during combat, such as defeating enemies, or gaining ground. As long as the strike team is advancing and being aggressive, they will gain momentum. However, if they are losing, let's see, if they are losing or being pushed back, they will begin to lose momentum. Should the squad ever reach negative momentum, ever reach zero momentum. Should the squad ever reach zero momentum, any further momentum loss is actually, for any further momentum loss will reduce their halo durability by 1d10. Any further momentum loss will reduce their halo durability by 1d10. Effectively, the fatigue and attrition of combat is dragging them down, and they will be forced to retreat soon. Kind of the idea is that if you have zero momentum, you're stalling effectively, and if they push you back, if you're losing momentum still, if you haven't seized any ground, you've lost someone, things are going poorly, you're going to be taking damage. With the encouragement to run away, we shouldn't be in this fight, we need to leave, we need to get out of here. You know, it's kind of like one of those things, like you try to re-seize momentum, you can't really drop any further from zero. You and further, they will never enter negative momentum. Regaining any momentum will never enter negative momentum. They will never enter negative momentum. But negative momentum, but staying at zero momentum too. That's why, like, starting off with no momentum is bad, because you're like, you might lose momentum right away if like you can't take something, or you can't really gain any quickly, and suddenly you're stalling out, and suddenly people are losing durability on their halo just because of attrition, and nobody wants to fight anymore, and it's like, we should just run away, but you're suppressed, so you're going to lose more health if you try to run away, and then people are getting cut off, and then people are getting sniped. It's a fucking nightmare. But if you start with momentum, if you start with 3 momentum, for example, you can have a little bit more wiggle room, because not only are you spending it to push forward to get more, to maybe land some, to get a kill, or to get more and refund yourself a little bit to kind of constantly build that, momentum, you're also offsetting if anything does go bad. Where it's like, okay, we've been delayed a little bit, but that's fine because, hey, we are in a good position. We're alive. We're fighting pretty good. Yeah, we're stalling out a little bit, but we've taken out 2 of their guys, and we haven't lost anyone. We haven't advanced, but maybe that's the strategy. Maybe we don't want to advance. Maybe that's the entire goal. Like, we're kind of fighting this little battle here because we got a sniper in the back who's taking pot shots. Give me one moment. All right, let's go. All right, okay. If the strike team. If the strike team is able to gather, we'll say 15 momentum for now. Momentum. Let's see. If strike team is able to gather 15 momentum, they may cash it in. They may cash it in. They may cash it in for. Actually, I don't want to add that yet. We'll add that later. Momentum. Momentum is a valuable currency. Valuable currency, allowing the students to pull off miracles and push themselves to the absolute limit of their abilities. Should they be flush with moment? Should they be flush with it? Then nothing can oppose them. But losing it all may force them to ante up the stakes and fight till the bitter end. It's kind of like I want to get the idea that momentum is incredibly valuable. It's like you want to use momentum actively. The more you are using momentum, the better. The problem is you shouldn't. It should always be kind of a greed factor. Like you have the incentive to not use it, but you have the incentive to use it. Holy shit! Pressing tab on a new age website is terrible. Welcome back. That's great. I don't know what you're talking about. I love the tab button. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. Okay. Everything is tabbable. God made tabbing for a reason. So, we've got momentum. We now need to do the battle map. All right, let's do this. Battle map. The battle map is divided into. The battle map is divided into seven zones. Divided further into three positions. Each of the seven zones represent a place on the field. The students are advancing to and attempting to hold. Advancing to or attempting to hold. It could be attempting to hold. To these zones, each of these zones can be parts of a room. Each of these zones can be rooms of a building, to open patches of field, open patches of desert. They are attempting to cross. Each of these zones can be rooms of a building to open patches of desert they are attempting to cross. However, the positions are However, the positions are based on if they are in, based or they are, how do I want it to work? In, out, or based. I'll reach it. The positions are based on if they are in or out of position. Fucking hell. Because, like, the idea, I try to think of a good name for it. Like, the idea is I was kind of trying to explain this to Scrunglo at one point. Let's take our little basic map here as an example. Very simple example, mind you, but an example no less. So I'll get rid of some of these students just to get an idea of what's going on. Let's say this is the current state of affairs. Let's say this is the current state. And let's say our girl here is standing right here. Now, she is in the neutral position. She doesn't have an advantage, she doesn't have a disadvantage. She is going to take +0 to hit her. This one right here. She's going to get no bonuses. Hit this girl right here. It's just going to be a raw roll. She's not in cover, not in anything, don't need to worry about that. However, she's going to take a -2 to hit her, because she's up above her. She's in position. She's in position, 1, 2, 3. 3 zones away. So it's distance 3, but she is in position. She has an advantage. She's going to pretty much be taking a -2 to hit her. And a -2 is pretty fucking bad in this game, because you roll, I rolled a 10, I rolled an 8 all of a sudden. Suddenly that's only 1 hit, rather than maybe a double hit, maybe 2 hits. However, this girl, she has a +2 to hit, because she is out of position. She's right in front of her, she rolls. She would normally roll an 8, but now she rolled a 10. Cool, that's a little bit of an advantage. She can actually change her fortunes a little bit. So let's see, I rolled a 15. If I rolled a 15 with a +2, I am now upgraded to a 17, and I can do 3 hits against her. She's out of position. +2 means a lot in this system, ironically enough. Now, the thing is, let's say, for example, we have our girl over here, and she is shooting down, and she wants to shoot across. That's kind of, she is in position. She wants to shoot across. She is going to be at a +0 because she is in position. Her opponent is in position. However, she's going to get a +2 to hit her and a +4 to hit her. So that's automatically going up to she might crit a lot easier on this. She can't even actually miss, technically. It's impossible for her because she's got, effectively 2d10 +4 to hit the girl on the bottom. Rolls, normally she would have missed with a 4, but now she has landed a solid hit. Actually, I should change miss to a scratch, damn it. It's like, hey, you've done something. Like, you have a pretty good advantage over some of these characters by even just being in the correct position. That's the basic concept. But let's say, for example, our girl here. Let's say our girl here has something that can affect zones. Let's say she has a flamethrower or something. If she has a flamethrower, she's going to be able to affect any of these zones effectively. She can affect these 2 zones with her flamethrower. You can now make these 2 zones very bad. It's a lot more efficient if she's here. However, if she were to be placed up above, suddenly all of these zones can be affected. All of these can be affected by the flamethrower. But if she's down all the way down here, one may. Pretty much the idea is the less you are out of it, the more you are. I still hate this map. Fuck you, Scribble. It works. Effectively, the concept is you want to maintain an advantageous position. The higher up you are, the more of a both, a rigid bonus you're going to be able to get. It's both too rigid and too complex. The fuck do you mean? I am not using zones. I clearly explained why I can't use this shit. But I'll explain it again if you want, Scribble. I'll do it right here, right now. I'll explain why I'm using this map. Okay, let's explain why I'm using this map. So, basic concept. Open map system. We have no grid, no anything. You're literally having a measuring tape and a ruler. Not going to work. Why is it not going to work? Too complex. I cannot reasonably expect people to do that. I don't want to reasonably expect people. I cannot reasonably expect people to do this. That's going to be annoying. It's going to be long. It'll be frustrating for people having to bust out the ruler to get moved 3 inches in a direction. Don't want to do that. Grid combat. Don't want to do a grid because grids are going to feel real funky in this, and I don't want to make maps constantly. Alright, can't really do that. No maps. I don't want, to make a map every single time you do a combat, because you don't know what kind of combats you're going to be getting into. You could be doing a You could be doing a combat to say, hey, we're in a house. That's going to be a lot different than if, say, hey, we are in an open plain, an open field. Especially when you start factoring in guns, because guns have quite a long range on them. Because, hey, it's like, oh, you can shoot 12 squares, more efficiently or than anything. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. That sounds kind of weird. And then everyone will just sit back into cover and never move. There's no incentive to move. Secondly, we have zones, like traditional zone movement, a la Fate. Too wonky, doesn't work for this. And the reason is fairly simple. It's very hard to measure a zone, because zones are supposed to be anomalous. Is that room a 1 zone? Is it 2 zones? Is it maybe even 3 zones? How do you measure the distance between that when it comes to firearms? Do you just not measure it? And then suddenly things get a little bit wonky. Option 4. Complete freedom of the mind. Theater of the mind. All we have is basic ranges. The issue there is suddenly things like abilities and skills and things like that become a lot more anomalous to use, and that the anomalous nature of things make things more complex. Either you start relying on the GM to make calls, which the more times you have to make the GM make a call, suddenly the more times things can be different with each call. If you start relying more on the GM to make a arbitrary decision that may or may not apply, suddenly things get a little bit hinky winky, wonky honky, which I didn't really want to do, which I felt like that wasn't quite appropriate. He was like, GM, you don't understand. I'm in cover. Like, no, you're not. But I am in cover, but you're not. Unless, again, you start making it is because I say I am. Option 5. We start employing what Scribble actually proposed initially. What Scribble proposed was, I will post it directly, everyone, because I can do that. What Scrungalo proposed was this. Ignore the Facebook posting. Now, the idea behind this, trying my best to summarize it a little bit, is that each of these is an individual hex that you can move between different nodes. It was effectively node-based combat. A, moving B, moving C, etc., etc., etc. Whatever is connected, you can move to. Each of these different shapes, each of these different sizes have different requirements to it, effectively. And it gives different ideas and different contexts, and it's pretty much this, except streamlined down even further to just being on a position on a map. The two issues with this are very simple. Issue one. the way that this is structured, it would effectively either need to be, you have to make an individual map every single time, and inevitably people are just going to make the same maps over and over and over again. It's a lot easier to choke point people out, and either you have to make the map a lot bigger to justify certain aspects, or make it a lot shorter, or make it a lot smaller and make the range of the guns a lot smaller, which feels also incredibly awkward to do. Something doesn't feel right about it. I could probably use this elsewhere if I went into this knowing full well that this was going to be the idea. I can explain my reasoning for this map very easily. Alright, we're going to explain my reasoning. So, the initial idea is an action map. Action maps are usually just divided into abstracted zones, usually a strict number of them. In this case, there are 7 zones. The entire concept is that most gunfights are taking place kind of, I wouldn't say necessarily in a linear fashion, but kind of in a little bit more chaotic. Everyone's kind of moving around naturally by virtue of, I don't want to get shot. So, we are moving around naturally a little bit. We're trying to get into cover. I didn't want to put down a hard piece of this is cover TM, because the problem there was that it was getting too complicated. And there were too many exception variables to that. So it was originally just effectively 7 spaces. You moved up, you tried to breach the front line. I needed to have 7 rows. I needed to have an odd number to put the line directly in the middle. To be kind of the idea of like, this is the halfway point. You hit the front line, you've officially started being able to gain momentum actively. If you push forward, you're gaining momentum by pushing the enemy back. They are in a worse position by virtue of them pushing you. You pushing them. Versus, hey, you're getting your shit rocked. They've breached your front line. They are pushing up on you. You're kind of falling back. You're shooting. You're popping a few people. And you're moving. However, they ran into an issue. Very, very big issue. I needed a way to represent advantage and disadvantage. What do you mean by that? I needed something to say, you are in a better position than not, because what was happening is that every single person was rolling the exact same thing. It became effectively an auto battler. Maybe that was be more appropriate. And what I meant by that is all you did was just roll d20s at one another and maybe use abilities when you had momentum. I'm like, this is not quite working the way I wanted to. So I thought of adding the 2 layers at the top and the bottom. The 2 layers at the top and the bottom are very simple. They are ability for you to pretty much be in a better position to say, hey, I'm outflanking the enemy. I have a height advantage. I have something that is granting me an advantage by virtue of being in this position. And if it's like, hey, everything's open fields, and like being there is, hey, you have a beat on the enemy. Where you are currently standing, where you are currently on your ass, there's a dune or something, you have a small height advantage. And because of that, you can pop a lot easier. However, being in the out of position category, being in that bottom row, effectively means that you are out of position. Something is wrong. They have a beat on you. You are not quite in cover. They're flanking you. There is something going on currently that you are not in control of. And it's a lot harder. It also gives me the advantage of having a little bit more of that stunt movement in, allowing people to be like, hey, I want to move a little bit more exciting, if that makes sense. I want to move up to a higher place. How do I do that? I'm going to move up there with a momentum. I'm going to move up there by performing a stunt. I want to try to get from point A to point B in a cool way because I'm a cool pulpy character. It is a way for me to say there's more going on this single map than just move forward, move backward. Because people were like, it's a line battle, so it's like Final Fantasy. I'm like, no, it's not. It's a bird's eye view of kind of a board almost, and it's effectively like a board game. That's kind of what I was going for, and being able to put yourself in and out of position a little bit, and you can play this with just tokens on a board, literally fucking anywhere. Even if you just sketch it out on a piece of paper, you can play this a lot easier. Yes, Scribble. That is my exact reasoning for that. I call it the good, bad, and neutral zone because I didn't have a fucking name for it, and I still don't. Would I be able to run combat with my nodes without much issue? You will have a strict disadvantage in a lot of different capacities because of how I'm setting up combat. You will have difficulty. You will need to establish each zone having a different cover value. You will need to understand, you will need to effectively put in a position of, how do I want to word this? The flamethrower is a valuable tool for one reason. You want to know why a flamethrower is very valuable? Because it affects everything below them. So, let's say again, this girl's got a flamethrower. She's standing right here. Suddenly, she can only affect her. It's very limited range. She's up here. Suddenly, this entire area is now being engulfed. She is in position. She is in a good position, and because she's in a good position, she can affect an entire row, an entire section of area. The entire zone is now ablaze because she is in that position. You will need to change certain aspects of it at a fundamental level if you want to. And again, I'm not saying the node combat doesn't work. I'm saying that, ironically enough, you made it way too fucking rigid. And I didn't want it to be super rigid because I don't know what kind of combat you guys are going to be in. And because I cannot make any assumptions on that regard, that is why I went against this idea. In another game, maybe. Not this one. Does not work. I cannot stop you from what you do. However, the rules will not support it. I will say that. My rules will not support what you are trying to do. Simple as. It's going to be supporting this because this is the way I want to do it. I made that call. Let's see. The battle map is divided into 7 zones, divided further into 3. Each of the 7 zones are placed in the field, and students are advancing to hunting the whole. Zones, the rooms, a building, or open patch, desert, tempting. Zone will have 3 positions: in position, out of position. Student is in the neutral position. She has no overt bonuses or penalties. She being in position means she will have a +2 to hit anyone below anyone in anyone in the neutral position, and a +4 to hit anyone out of position. Hit anyone in the neutral position, and a +4 to hit anyone out of position. However, being out of position +2 means Mm. Mm. Ideal sniping spot, an ideal sniping spot of outflanking an enemy, outflanking a target, or outflanking a target, or establishing kills and show a +2 to hit anyone in the neutral position, +4 to hit anyone out of position. However, being out of position, exposed to enemy fire. They will have a -2 hit in the neutral position, and a -4 to hit anyone in position. Position can be modified. In a variety. Let's see. Position can be modified in a variety of ways. Namely, spending momentum. So, again, if you have questions, I have answers. But if you are asking them, I am not reading them. A second. Good night. Choose facing the 3 hexes and can affect anything equal to or worse node shape. You could choose facing of 3 hexes and can affect anything or equal of worse node shape. So in this current affair, if I stand right here, the flamethrower can affect anything like this. Flamethrower affects things and has a range of 3, even though it has a range of 1. Or maybe I can do some fucking cool-ass trick shot and do something like that. Oh, I know. And maybe I'll just do. Let's see. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe do a real cool upside down V. Trick shot my way up. If it's in the center, draw an Amogus now. This Amogus has been violent and, been kicked out of 109 spaceships. There's your Amogus. This is the high quality content you come here for. If you want to explain what you're talking about, Scribble, then draw it out for me. Because again, I cannot read your mind. Because frankly speaking, this was already a little. I kind of got what you were doing for it. I was like, I don't quite. I get it, but no. No manly Amogus. Adjacent 3 hexes. 3 adjacent hexes. So technically, in this position, she would be able to affect everything here. If I'm getting that correct, she would be able to affect this entire area. So flamethrowers will just by default be the best thing in the game. Again, Scribble, I'm not being mean. It's just I have a very particular idea of what I want to do here. Let's. How do I want to? We're talking about. Yeah, it would just be adjacent. Let's see. So we want right now. What we want to do is, Finally, a zone may have cover. Finally, a zone may have cover. Cover is terrain. Actually, okay, actually, I know what we can do. Let's talk about cover. Let's talk around terrain. We want to cover zones. Each zone may have different values of cover associated with it. These come in 4. These come in four varieties. Obscuring, light, medium, heavy. Not exactly the most creative naming for it, but we don't need creative naming, we need efficient naming. So, we want obscuring, light, medium, heavy. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Examples. I have like an entire thing about fucking cover, and where is it?
Where are you? Cover, give me what I wish.
Oh fuck. I always remember I named it fucking stupid. I know I named it something stupid because I remember fucking naming it Hearts of Darkness, that's it. let's see, glass foliage. Glass foliage, Okay, so we want to do glass foliage, paper wall, sheetrock wall, earthworks. It's kind of like these aren't the best cover, wooden walls and sandbags. Like if under enough firepower, they're gonna get broke. Like that's kind of the idea. Like. Each type of cover, let's see. Each type of cover provides a certain amount of damage reduction from the final amount of damage they would sustain. Someone left a fucking comment. Who left a comment? Yeah, I know it's not finished yet. Don't leave fucking comments. I know it's not finished. I have to fix. Analyze system once it's done, make your own hex-based system afterwards, maybe. I mean, it is a flamethrower. I would just remove the ability for flamethrower to have attachments or nerf skills it can use. Simple as. Noti, if the hostile terrain mean the trade section. Don't know yet. You know, I was always wondering when I lurk in here. What the... What are you making these for? What are you making these for anyway? Because I find it entertaining. That's the literal reason. I find this fun. I enjoy the act of writing. It's fun to me. I just get mad at people, and because I enjoy this. Final amount of damage they would sustain. They would sustain. For example, if a student is in light cover. Let's see. For example, if a student is in light cover, they and take a total of 10 damage. They would reduce the final amount to 6 damage. 6 damage with therefore 6 damage. Cover can change based on the position. With the neutral position of the zone, with zone being the baseline. With the neutral position of the zone being the baseline. If the cover change, the cover will always degrade in quality by a step if out of position, or improve by a step if it is in position. If it is in position. It is possible. It is likely it is likely to maintain the same. It is likely to maintain the same cover through multiple positions. Effectively, what I'm trying to get across here is if you have medium cover in the neutral zone, you can change it to heavy if it's in position, or you can change it to light if it's out of position. But you can't change something to obscuring. You can't lower the quality of it being in position. That's not really the point. You can keep everything at medium if you want, but you can improve it there. You can't, or degrade it in the other way. Sure thing, fair enough, but do you not publish any of them? All of them are on my website. Most of them are on my website anyway. Some of them aren't. People have printed them. If you want to see the, I can't even open this up. If you want to see the ones that are, like, published, quote-unquote, technically you'd go to the itch.io. These are the ones that are, like, more formally published. If you want to know why they're Google Docs, because I will not say most of these are very super polished, and they're not perfect-ish yet. None of them are perfect. Everything is flawed until it's not flawed, and then I can fix it. Most everything, though, is available for free. If you do notice something that is broken, you can. All of them are okay to be saved as PDFs, I believe anyway. Most of them are fine to be saved as PDFs if you really do want one. Like, say you want a copy of Zombie Dark 30. What you would do is you would go up here, you would go to download, and then hit PDF. I'm pretty sure if you have commenting access, you can do that. Yeah, so if you want to do that, technically I should update this and put the detox on there. But that's how you do it. Some of them are not very well formatted because I didn't know how to do formatting well. You want to know the God's honest truth. I'm just kind of fucking stupid when it comes to formatting. That's the secret, kids. I'm really bad at this whole formatting thing. The secret is I'm stupid. We want to do... Dot cover. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh yeah, zone conditions. Kearney can die in a fire. Finally, someone agrees with me. Can I shove the BA game into InDesign and improve the formatting a bit? No. I mean, what do you mean? The uncapped Catboy? What? You know, the uncapped cat traps, magical capitalist adventures in the Lost Island of Thule. Hate the Antichrist, fuck taxes, love catnip, simple as. What about it? What's so wrong about it? What's so wrong about any of these games? Come on, don't you want to play Yick? Don't you want to yick out with the rest of us? I always forget I put myself in a Nekopara t-shirt for this one. Just make multiple Alexes. God, some of these are so fucking bad. Oh god, they're so bad. God, some of these are so janky. I love it. This is the kind of pain I suffer for. Indeed, why? Because I will be the one to format all of these things, and I need to have people leave comments and talk about it, what's working and what's not working. That's the real secret why I put everything in Google Drive, so I can enable fucking comments. That's the real secret, kids. So yeah, if you have any questions about any of the games, don't hesitate. I would edit to match comments. Well, Scribble, no you wouldn't. I know how you roll. You're a designer like me, you wouldn't. You'd try to fix everything. Zone conditions. Each zone... I mean, I can't really stop you if that's what you're, like, wondering. Each zone will have a... each zone actually it's to say zones and positions let's see, zones and positions may have let's see, zones and positions may have different conditions placed on them to indicate a problem or event occurring in that particular area. These may be placed immediately upon starting the combat operation, representing features upon the battlefield, or they may combat operation representing features upon the battlefield, or they may be they may be placed by students using techniques or equipment. What text formatting? Are you complaining about fucking orphans and widows again? Because I can fix those, those are a lot easier to fix when I'm making a PDF of it. These do it here because of the fucking font choice. If I want to, I can just change the entire font. I can say, okay, the font's now fucking an 8-point font. I can change the entire thing if I want. I don't want to do that. I like it at 12 currently because it's a good size and I can fucking read it. So if we keep it at 12, it's nice and big and people can understand it. It's easier to read currently. If you're like,
oh no, this is here.
It's just like, fine, fuck it, I can do that. It's gone. Like, I do not stress out about fucking orphans and goddamn widows in the GDoc stage. Because things can change. Things will change. And when I'm writing it out in a fucking Affinity document, it will be different. The wording will be different. I can change things a lot easier. The formatting will be different. So much that I can fucking do because it's goddamn GDocs. Getting this shit to work as best as it is already a goddamn miracle. This is already working off miracle juice, effectively. Very little else. Yeah, game design mercenary thing. Does that work? I get paid to do things, if that makes sense. I mean, after this, I have to do I'm doing a commission about Alona. It's about getting the ideas to paper, then refining it into proper formatting afterwards. Yeah, pretty much. That's really does summarize it. Because the thing is this isn't a reduxed work. If I redux something, things can drastically change. And then when I put it into an Affinity document, things are going to drastically change. Because I have A, more font choices, and B, I have a different way of laying out things. Because I'm going to give you a secret. if I want to put a table next to something in GDocs, I have to make another table. That's a mandatory thing I have to do. But in Google Docs, I have to put it like this. I'm doing it like this because like this is the way that Google Docs wants you to make tables. I cannot put this table over here. If I try to, the entire document will break. So I don't want to. Standardize image formats. I don't really need images. I can just do that. It would look fine to me. But I know it's not, because I like to have some color every now and again. I like to have an image every now and again to get a good idea that there is color. That's why I like to fill out these white spaces with an image or something. She was just there because I couldn't find a good one. Like, I can just remove her if you want. This is all red because these are very, I needed to put something here. There's a reason for it. Scribble, is this like, I'm actually curious. Scribble, is this like the first actual stream you've ever watched in full? This is what I do every time. Like, I would only do it after it's done, but that's a secret, Scribble. It's not done. I don't know if I might just say, like, well, this is kind of a shit show, and I may want to add things later. People may put it in the comments. That's why I like to put it out for people, being like, here, take a look at it. What do you like? What do you don't like? Some people leave weird comments. They're like, hey, this doesn't make sense, so I might rewrite an entire section of the game. I've done that before. I've literally rewritten entire segments of game because I just didn't put something right the first time. Doesn't help that there's a lot of just side notes I need to write in this fucking game. So, back to being productive. So let's think. What do we need for zone conditions? Like if we want to do like just it's just dark. It's just dark in an area. If it's darkened, that means you're going to have I'm trying to think of let's think, like, what would be some areas that would be hostile terrain is effectively actually shift. Darkness, hostile. No, I usually don't find a reason to get autistic. Yeah, no, people sometimes leave fun comments, sometimes people leave dumb comments. That's kind of the nature of the beast. You go out of your ways to find leads, or do people just find you on Twitch? People usually find me on Twitch. Often people find me through the YouTube channel. I have a lot more people on YouTube who know about me than on Twitch, because my Twitch streams aren't fun. Ignore literally everything up here. Ignore all of it. Cool. We got anything else? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he left this on the wrong video. Just ignore literally every single thing up here. Well, it isn't real. Yeah, I know people usually find me through the YouTube channel more often than not. And then people come to my server. And so it's a lot harder to grow on Twitch than anything because I don't play video games, and I'm in like the smallest category. I'm in like one of the smallest categories on Twitch, where I literally write games and whinge. That's just what I do. Let's see. Darkness, hostile, void, impassable, slow, moving, shifting, exposed. I am. What else can I be? I can be. What am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? Interesting, I wouldn't have thought there was a market for TTRPG game design consulting. There isn't. That's the secret, my friend. There is not. Not even fucking consultancy. Oh, God. Here's the thing. Oh, God. I can't see. Give me one moment as I fix my ability to see. Sunglasses aren't cheap, you know. The big thing in this little sphere, one thing to know about this, Franktown, is what I am doing here is very niche, incredibly niche, because it's a very weird, small hobby. Most people who are also making games are usually do it in like Discords and are very small and very quiet and don't really get that much. What I should be doing is just shilling on Twitter constantly and making 5e supplements. The fact that this is one thing that people get a little bit weirded out about me, especially. You see all these games, I've got like, I think I've got a little over 70 at this point. Most of these are games that are different. They are different systems, different ideas, different concepts. Most people spend years on like one. They'll spend years on a single game. And like they will spend a very long time refining down a single thing rather than my kind of shotgun approach to multiple ideas. And shilling out on Twitter for 5e splat number 1,587,538 sounds fucking soul crushing. Yeah, I know. Like it's it doesn't really help that most of the tabletop industry is either composed of people who have played nothing other than 5e or an incestuous crowd of indies. Like legitimately like an incestuous crowd of indie developers who really keep to themselves, and it is very much a I wouldn't say it's a good boys club, but it's kind of like you are either in it or you are out of it, and I'm definitely not in it because I am not very fun. I'm not like a fun person to be around, and I don't make PBTA games, and I don't pay lip service to things. I'm not that kind of person. I also don't do OSR stuff, so that's kind of another group that doesn't really want anything to deal with me. I'm kind of just a jackass. Putting it bluntly, I'm kind of just a fucking asshole, and nobody likes me. The secret to huge success, everyone, is that I'm a jackass. I have a very weird little niche, and my weird little niche doesn't really do much. Hence why I'm making a Blue Archive tabletop role-playing game for a bunch of autists on fucking TG. Let's see. Darkness, hostile, void, impassable, slow, moving, shift, exposed. Okay, so this should be, let's think. Darkness. Obscuring, actually, we'll do -4 to hit while inside, -4 to hit while inside, -4 to be hit while, to be hit while -4 to be hit while inside, except if the attacker has a light or night vision. It's kind of like being in the darkness is not great. Take 1d10 Halo durability at the end of the round. Can inflict wounds. Void. There's nothing there. Exposed to. There's nothing there. If a student is forcefully moved into the position or zone, forcefully moved into the zone or position, they take 1d10 Halo durability and do not move, and are not moved. The zone or position is unable to be moved into. Let's see, the student requires two actions to move out of zone. Moving. Student is moved to an adjacent zone at the end of the round. Move to adjacent is moved forward or backward into a new zone at the end of the round. Pretty much like the zone is constantly moving forward, and because of that, you're moving to a new area. Shift. The student is moved into or out of position at the end of the round. Actually, the student is moved into a different position. Moved into a different position at the end of the round. Exposed. Student. Any attacks against the student. Students in that zone have a +4 to hit it, regardless of position. In addition to position bonus. Pretty much, if you're in an exposed area, that's really bad. You're in a place where they have perfect line of sight effectively. You're going to get shot up a little. Burning, bleeding, concussed, blinded, double space after 2 is... oh, damn it. I've been noticing my keyboard's been doing that recently. Yeah, no, TG's still kicking. Yeah, TG's still around. 4chan's still kicking. It won't die anytime soon. I actually got mentioned completely out of someone actually mentioned me. Right there. Congratulations. Someone actually mentioned me. Good job. Everything's coming up, notepad. Cool. Yeah. Good old notepad. Yeah, so if we do that, pretty much where these would be is on the map, is onto this map. So if something is like, say, a void would be like, this entire space is, this entire place of the position is just actually unavailable. Like, you can just physically not go move here. There is nothing there. It is open to nothingness or water or something like that. It's kind of like hey, this is not a ideal place for you. Like, don't go there. So it's kind of like one of those things, like you're going to have to move into a position or maybe try to shift yourself downward, put yourself in a worse position, but try to get around. On the other hand, you might get something like, hey, this entire zone is on fucking fire. Do not enter this zone, you will die. Everyone you love will die. Don't do that. That's bad. 1d10 Halo damage doesn't seem very bad until you roll a 10 and that's a third of your health gone. That's kind of the idea of these. It's giving a little bit more life to each zone, giving a little bit more positional stuff, and so it should be okay. Okay. What we can do, not heading 1, we want to do heading 2. Oh my god, a grenade. So initiative. Battle stance, actually battle stance, initiative and actually it's kind of a terrible fucking name for it, but the reason I'm gonna have to name it like this. So, oof. Okay, so battle stance. Every battle, these students find themselves in is unique. Let's see. Every battle the students find themselves in is unique. But can be easily broken down into two main situations. Assaults and defense. Assault and defense. Actually, no. In two main situations, but can easily be broken down in two main situations. Assaults, and how do I want to do this? Because assaults, the idea of an assault is that you're pretty much both attacking one another with the sole purpose of trying to down one another. You're both trying to kind of take the initiative from one another. You're both trying to move into each other's territory. It's like a fairly traditional battle, if that makes sense. The two squads run into each other, everyone dives for cover and starts blasting one another. The other one is like you're clearly making a dedicated attack at a, actually, you know what we can do? We can, skirmishes and assaults. skirmishes. Skirmishes are the most common. Battle in Kavodos. Two forces clash with the intent of driving the other off. Both sides have the goal of attacking the other into a general rout. Both sides have the goal of attacking the other, forcing a rout of one side to emerge. Forcing the rout of one side. These clashes are common on the streets and everywhere else in the city. Ah. Both sides have the goal of attacking the other force and rout the other side. These clashes are common in the city and everywhere, common in the streets and everywhere else in the city. Assaults have one side in a dedicated defensive posture. Assaults have one side in a dedicated defensive posture. Their goal is to delay or hold their position to the bitter end. Goal is to delay or hold their position to the bitter end. The opposing force must directly lead the charge against the entrenched force. With the intent of taking the position, damning the casualty. Whenever a battle breaks out, the archiver will choose which type of battle is taking place. Let's see. We'll choose which type of battle is taking place, and then move on to initiative. The entire idea is like there is a slightly different. I kind of want to get the idea like there's a slightly different way of determining things like initiative if you're on the defensive, because you kind of know they're coming, kind of thing, so you're going to get a small advantage to it. Initiative. At the start of the battle, every Let's see. At the start of the battle, every student will roll a 2d10. Well, every student will roll a 2d10 to determine their initiative slot. Enemy forces. Enemy forces will already have a pre-chosen slot. Have a chosen slot. They will act. Each slot is then played out in descending order. With the highest acting first and moving down. When a student slot comes up, any of the students may choose to take their actions at point. once they have been activated, they may not take any more actions for the rest of the round. Each individual combatant's actions are referred to as their turn, everyone's turn is the full combat round. When the final slot is registered, when the final slot completes their action, and timers will click down. Timers will be reduced. Timers will click down. Any end of round effects will take place. Let's see. Any end of round effects will take place, and the time advances the few seconds that have passed. Into the next round. From here, any of the students may choose. Actually, from here, I should say, students may choose to re-roll their initiative slots, or keep their current state. If they choose to re-roll, every student in the strike team, everyone in the strike team must re. Well. During assaults, the defensive team, the side that is on the defensive will have a full round. Will have one action apiece to set up and prepare themselves for the onslaught. If by chance for the onslaught, they will the defensive those on the defensive will the side that is on the defensive will have one action that prepare themselves for the onslaught. They actually will have a +4 to their initiative roll. Let's see. Let's see. Representing them being prepared and ready for the assaulters to arrive. Ready for the attackers to arrive. If the strike team is ambushes, is ambushed, then the ambushers will then initiative is normal, is rolled as normal, but the ambushers will have a full round of actions. Let's see. But the ambushers will have a full round of actions to take. Full round of actions before the opposing force is able to act. Or the opposing force is able to act. Effectively, what this is if we ambush you, we get a full set of actions. Like, we are, like, we're kind of seizing the initiative there a little bit. Ha ha ha, look at me now. Alright, get some sleep. Guten Nacht, mein Freunde. Hello Bakalu. Hello, Kalu Kale. How are we doing today? We're writing cringe today, as usual. We're writing cringe. Oh.
Ich bin bones.
Ow. Ow. Bones.
My bones.
Okay. Let's see. How do I want? Actually, do is. Opening momentum. At the start of. If the strike team has any momentum to begin with, they may choose to spend it. They may choose to spend it on modifying their initiative. Modifying their initiative. For every momentum spent, the student will gain a +2 to their initiative. For every momentum spent, we'll gain +2 to their for every momentum spent. The student will gain +2 to their individual initiative. This can be spent retroactively to boost up their roll. Later on, momentum may be used for the student to re-roll their initiative personally before the round begins. But they must take the new result. So it's kind of the idea of, like, if you have this opening momentum, you're able to grab the initiative a lot more easily. It's like, cool, it's like, hey, we've grabbed something a little bit, right off the bat. For every momentum, student, every for each momentum spent, the student will gain +2 to their initiative. This can be spent retroactively to boost the roll. During the opening, before the first round, of combat begins, they may spend one momentum to place their student in the in position may place their student in position in their starting zone. Let's see, they may spend one momentum, place their student in position in their starting zone. Spending another momentum may move their student in either direction of spending another momentum may move their student to any adjacent zone of their choice. Another adjacent. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like you can spend a momentum to get better initiative. You can spend a momentum to kind of place yourself on the board better, but later on you can actually spend momentum to increase your initiative, to just re-roll your particular initiative. Which we should do board placement. Ow. Back. There we go. Snippity snap, my back is fucked. Oh goodness, people are pinging me about good old Disney Plus and how Disney Plus is completely failing miserably. They lost apparently like 11 million subscribers recently. It's like, how do you keep fucking this up, guys? This is the one thing that you're not supposed to do. Let's see. So board placement at the start of the combat operation. Each side will be deployed on the combat map according to the scenario or the archiver. Normally the PC if a skirmish is taking place, the students will be placed on the, we'll just say, the right side of the map. Will be placed on the right side of the map while the opposing force will be placed on the left. A student may occupy the last I actually haven't even named the zones, have I? I feel like I should name the zones. SpaghettiOs. SpaghettiOs. Meatballs you eat with a spoon. Oopsie doopsie. Because like one of the big things is Necrotica's map actually has a very dedicated naming structure for everything. Tartarus, Hades, Limbo, Elysium, Eden. They have it's a very dedicated name for each of them. Normally that's what I do, but I haven't really given these names yet. So, I mean, I guess if we call it... we just give them numbers maybe? Do we just call it like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7? Actually, I know we can do it 2 from the front line. Just need to make a note it here. Battle map. Finally, the center zone is referred to as the front line. Is referred to as the front line. This is the divider between the students and the opposing force. Crossing this line, either side crossing this line, either side that crosses the line will begin generating or reducing momentum. Reducing momentum for every zone past the front line. For every zone past the front line into opposing territory, that side will into opposing territory. The students will gain +1 momentum. +1 momentum per student. Students will gain +1 momentum per student. If the opposing force has broken the front line, the strike team, I should say, strike team will get the strike team will lose -1 momentum per student per space per zone inward per student per zone if the student is front line, zones in from the front line, they will generate +2 momentum at end round. At the end of the round, if an opposing student is 3 steps past the front line, they will lower momentum by -3. So it's kind of one of those things, like, don't let your forces be kind of overwhelmed. No, absolutely not at all. Absolutely. Little bit janky looking, but hey, that's what we do here. Janky looking is what we do. Mouse is the entire reason copyright is as fucked as it is. Well, yeah, but nothing is going to change copyright at this point. That's the joke. As we were kind of discussing before stream, like, the mouse isn't going anywhere. At worst, the mouse is going to break itself up into a bunch of tiny micro corporations just to fuck with people. The mouse ain't going anywhere. If skirmish is taking place, students will be placed on the right side of the map, while opposing force will be placed on the left. Student may occupy may occupy the far side, may occupy 2 or 3 zones away from the front line. A student may occupy 2 or 3 zones away from the front line. 2 or 3 zones away from the front line. They can pretty much go here or here. They can go to kind of this kind of forward position or this back position, but they're pretty much, you're going to be, everyone's going to deploy around here. So that means people who have rifles or things like that are going to be able to get the first kind of pot shots off at one another. But that also kind of means that, like, certain girls are going to want to, you know, if you go up here, you can rush to the front line real fast. But it's like, hey, wait a second, if I move here right away, if you try to rush up to the front line, I'm just going to light you up. Like, you're just going to get shot. So it's like, I want the main fight to take place kind of like right here. Doesn't seem like a lot of ground to cover, but like, that's kind of the idea, is like, fights aren't supposed to be like super duper long. But I don't want them to be super long. That's not the point. It is the point, but isn't the point. It makes sense in context. 2 or 3 zones away from the front line. Actually, so if you spend a momentum, you can actually start right here, which is really aggro. But again, you're a lot closer to people here. But if you have a shotgun going and, you know, being being really aggressive could be very beneficial to you. You're burning momentum you may not have, though. You don't have momentum, you're stuck here all of a sudden, and hey, we're in a bad spot. Student may occupy 2 or 3 zones away from the front line. During an assault. During an assault, all of the attackers will start on the far side of their respective, farthest zone from the defenders. While the defenders can deploy in any zone, from the front line, to their assault. This. So it's kind of like the defenders want to get into a position where they are pretty much like, effectively, the way to think about it is that the defenders want to, like, defenders are going to find themselves in like in a way that they don't want to move, because that's the entire point. You want to be in the ideal place for you, but you're defending, so that's the point. Let's see. If the an ambush takes place, roll 1d10. We'll roll 1d10 for each of the ambush students. So you roll 1d10 for each of the ambush students. On a 1 or 2, they are placed in the out of position. They are played in the out of position category. They are placed in the out of position section of their zone. They are placed in the out of position zone of their zone. However, the ambushers will also roll a 1d10. On a 9 or 10, they are placed in position section of their zone. So it's kind of like, hey, we've ambushed you. I got a 10. I'm in position. everyone may roll to be in position, which is really good. Like, hey, we've got the drop on you, we got an advantage. But you may also be like, well, we got the drop on you, but I'm kind of in a neutral position. Like, I'm fine. Like, we have the advantage because we got here, but not perfect. I am not in the ideal place, but I'm in a good place. Let's... But exterior factors would place them out of position. For each momentum spent. Let's see. Every zone during an assault. During a skirmish, for every zone, during a skirmish, for every zone past the front line in the opposing territory, our team will gain +1 momentum per student per zone for the per zone. If the opposing force will take let's do per zone during assaults favor the defendant, favor the defenders for as long as the attacker as long as the attackers do not cross the front line, the defenders gain +2 momentum at the end of the round. If the attackers cross the front line, they will generate +1 momentum. Momentum per student. Per zone. Pretty much like the defenders have a massive advantage, you know, of actually defending. Plus or minus. There we go. Plus or minus momentum per student per zone. So kind of the idea is like, you can spread momentum to do things here, but you can also generate momentum by just being aggressive. Get to their side. I want, you know, like, hey, be over here. She is generating 1 momentum per turn. She's generating a resource that we can use. Oh no, she's over here. She is generating 2. She is reducing our momentum by 2 every round. At the end of the round, we generally look at our momentum. We've lost momentum. There are enemies in our side of the field. We need to drive them back. We can drive them back to the front line. We're winning. But now our girl back here is also cut off. She's doing well, she's generating us momentum, but everyone's going to turn on her and, you know, light her the fuck up. That's the problem. So now we're in a little bit more of a hectic position. Oh no, there's problems going on. How do we fix this? How do we fix the problem? Oh no, squad. I think we have to use the power of friendship or some bullshit like that. Mm. 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 Increase the damage reduction by +2 in the zone. Throw smoke grenade, put the obscured condition on that, increase it. Again, if you want to make sure your heavy cover blocks a lot more damage, put some fucking smoke down. They can't shoot what they can't see. Okay, we do that. We can put an image right there. We put an image right there. We put an image right there. Okay, so this should be fine. Oh, didn't mean that. This should be good. Understood what's going on here. We're gonna this button right here. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Which is going to lead us to character action. This is going to be student combat actions. Okay, so we're 3 hours. Jesus, 10 o'clock. Okay. I'm gonna write out the first paragraph of this. We have successfully built the most of the hard part of combat, mostly the fucking map. I'm gonna actually I can put a sample map right there to give people a visual understanding of it. I think that'll work. So the combat actions are going to be during combat when it is a student's turn, they will have 2 actions to perform. They will have 2 actions to perform. They may select any of the following actions. Let's see. They may select any of the following actions. They may select any of the following actions and perform each one once. Each one once unless specified. By traits attachment. My traits or attachment. To action perform, they may select any of these following actions and perform each one specified by trait action. By spending a momentum, they may take a third action. So we're just this is the most basic shit you can do. So kind of I'm gonna write them out. We're not gonna do them tonight. So generally speaking, we're going to be having attacking. I think having a defense ability wouldn't be completely remiss. I think we need to have we need a use item. Of course, we need an other. Always add in an other action. Move, I think, would be important. You fuck. Actually, we want to do a not stunt movement, but reposition. It's not going to be as efficient as doing it via momentum. The thing with momentum, with spending momentum, is you don't need. How I'm thinking of how I want techniques to do is techniques cost momentum, but you get to use them even when it's not. You use them on your turn, but you can use them in conjunction with your actions. That's kind of one of the advantages, you could say. So attack, defense, use item, other, move. Reposition would be attempting to like get out of a situation. If you want to reposition, what it's effectively going to be is you're going to say, hey, I want to get into position. It's like, okay, roll me a, roll 2d10, beat a target number. You roll, if you do it, you actually move into, you get into position. Or you want to try to get out of a position possibly because you got shifted over there. I guess we can do... How do we want to... Let's see, what else is there? How do I want to... What if Overwatch? I don't know how I would do Overwatch though. That's kind of the question. Like, because the idea of Overwatch would be you get to make an attack if you select the Overwatch. Maybe like I don't know how I would do that. Because the idea behind like an Overwatch, for example, would be if you move, I shoot you. If you're moving, like I'm declaring an Overwatch, if you are trying to move, I'm gonna pop you. That's what an Overwatch would do. But like, what do you do in that context? Like, what's the point? Like, how do I make you work? That's my question. How do I make you do that? Only watching one Overwatch, only watching one zone. Maybe if anyone moves out of the zone. Is reload not a combat action? Okay, that's actually a good idea. That's actually I've been debating on adding like a reload option for things. Like that's kind of the idea. I've been thinking about adding like a reloading option. And like the idea behind a reload would be you are specifically saying I want to reload my gun for the purposes of letting me activate other abilities on it via, either traits or it's going to be other features of it. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like you can use all the fun toys on your gun, but you have to reload to actually use it again. I've been debating on how to do that properly because I don't really have any of the items really planned out yet. So maybe adding a reload option wouldn't be the worst idea. Certain guns currently do have like a reload tag, but I might rename that to the ammo tag, where it's a little bit different than like specifically like you have to reload because it has ammo, but if you like put an underslung grenade on your fucking assault rifle, you're gonna have to reload to use that grenade again, and that's an action that you're not using, kind of thing. Because you are using an action, it's kind of like your economy gets a little bit fucky wucky. Let's see. I can't put in an emergency recovery kind of thing, like kind of like emergency like breather. That may not be a bad idea. Like kind of like an emergency oh fuck move. Kind of like the breather is like a real like small like Small HP bump. Small HP bump. It's not really efficient to do. Recharge abilities. Ammo. I might make second wind a momentum action. Like the idea behind like the this, because there's going to be some actions which are like you are going to burn a momentum. These are momentum actions. You do that, you spend a momentum, they occur. Actually, we can do and like we want to do. I mean, if we do Overwatch, what we can do is negative. We'll say like -4 to hit, -4 to hit, auto attack on a target moving out of or into moving out of a zone. Maybe we do something like that. So if we do that, momentum actions, probably the biggest momentum action you're going to be able to do is using a technique. You can use one momentum action a turn if you want, but again, it costs momentum. You're using that momentum to do something. You're saying, hey, I'm going to spend a momentum, now I can take a third action. But you can't use a technique as well. It's like, I'm spending a momentum, now I am going to use one of my techniques and deal 3 hits to an enemy right off the bat. Just, I target an enemy, I target an enemy, and it's like, I'm doing 3 hits to you, because that is my technique. I have the big fuck you damage ability, because that is my thing that I could do. But I'm using my little resource here that others that we might need. Someone else can be using that momentum to move more aggressively. Someone else can use that momentum to reposition themselves out of getting fucked this turn. You know, someone else can always use that momentum to do more things. I want people to always... You should always want to use momentum, but you always have that prisoner's dilemma of your friends wanting to use momentum. So if you have very little momentum, if you have like 2 momentum, that momentum now is a lot more valuable because everybody is looking at it and everyone is thinking, can I use the momentum? Can I use it for another action? Can I use it for, to get myself out of this, get myself out of a, bad position? Can I use it to try to, get out of a, shuffle my ass away real fast so I don't die? And it's like, or hey, I need to use this momentum to heal myself a little bit because I got shot real bad. So it's, you're looking at it and you're like, somebody else, but someone's like, I'm going to use a technique now, and that technique is do a shit ton of damage to somebody. Now there's 1 momentum. But if you're completely flush with momentum, like if you've got a lot of good momentum in your pocket, people are going to use it a lot more because you have like, we're safe, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to use my technique to down someone and then I can immediately refund it. Or hey, I'm going to use this momentum to heal myself a little bit so I'm still in the fight pretty actively, but then on the other turn, someone's activating their technique to do something else, and then someone is activating their technique. And that's where it's kind of like the value of the EX is going to come in, because the EX is going to be multiple techniques together. It's 3 techniques in one. So you can do a shit ton of damage and heal yourself kind of thing. Like, yeah, cool. You've done a shit ton of damage to an enemy and you've healed yourself a good amount of health. And it's like, yeah, that's my EX ability. That's my super cool special ability that I have, because I'm a super cool special person. So if we go under this idea, I think this should work. Not flawless, but it should work. I will bully someone. I will bully someone in a bit to maybe make a quick character to see if everything works. I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna call it here. Godspeed, good luck, you know the rest. I will see you all on Friday. On Friday, we will most likely finish up combat in its entirety. Like, that is a priority for me. That's going to be kind of the main priority, you could say, is we are going to attempt to finish up combat. And after combat is done, we can probably move immediately on the commendations and training, which I'm going to feel pretty confident about. We're doing pretty good. This is a little bit... I knew combat was going to be the problem child, but I'm feeling better. I think things aren't as, like... Something doesn't feel right here where things are placed, but that might just be a wording thing. But yeah, combat actions, I think this is a good number of combat actions. We're going to have to work on zones. We're not going to work on zones. We're going to have to work on some of the maths behind things, but it should work just as fine. Again, I'll have to double check some things, make sure everything is working as intended. These might change. These may... again, none of these are really set in stone. The only one that I'm, like, really confident about is the AT weapon. Just, like, deal double damage to vehicles and large robots. That's fine. It gives the rocket launcher a very particular thing. Scratch damage was put in, but scratch damage is, like... There's a good chance if you scratch someone, it'll do no damage. Because all scratch damage is half damage. You roll a scratch on an AR, you're dealing 3 damage. If someone isn't in cover, they're going to take 3 damage. If they are in cover, anything heavier than obscuring, they're going to take no damage. But if you have a bunch of things that boost up your damage, then maybe you can get some bonuses out of it. So, yeah, it's... Generally speaking, things are looking pretty alright. My big thing is, like, some of these traits I'm gonna have to, like, when you're designing your own gun a little bit, to like, hey, I want to make a fucking AT rifle. I want to make an anti-tank rifle. Doing an anti-tank rifle would be bumping up the damage a lot, adding in the heavy tag. That would be your AT rifle. It does a shit ton of damage, but it's also an anti-tank rifle. Like, its entire purpose is to kick out things. I guess we're going to be sticking with in position. Yeah, I'm not... I am not a fan of the tank. Tank is wrong. I don't know how to fix tank. I'll think on that later. Not adding the anti-vehicle tag. That's the AT tag. To be honest, that's kind of the AT weapon tag. It is anti-vehicle, but AT sounds better. That's literally the only reason. It sounds nicer than anti-vehicle. That's kind of the thing. That's legitimately the only reason AT rifle sounds better than AV rifle. So, yes, Godspeed, good luck. If you have any comments, you know where to find me on the Discord.